Do you hate drinking water? Hi, welcome back to Oldmanblurts YouTube. Water. I hate it! Well, at least I used to. You know, I had to force myself in the beginning to drink it. Everyone says drink plenty of water when you're on a diet. But, you know, trying to drink 8 glasses of water on any stupid diet was just killing me. You know, I knew it was good for my health. However, you know, I also know this was one of the things in the past that used to make me come off of my diet. So, you know, I had to have a soft drink, and I hated diet soft drinks. I still do, you know. I mean, the only diet soft drink that's out there that I even can stand is root beer, but I really don't even like it. It's just not the same. Part of the reason I came off of the diets in the past was because I thought of my diet as a diet, not as a lifestyle change, you know, like I've talked about before. Now I find that, you know, drinking water on my diet is not so bad. You know, I like it. I actually enjoy a glass of ice cold water, whether, you know, it's good for my health or not. It's so much better if it has ice in it. You know, I like it really ice cold or straight out of the refrigerator. I keep a pitcher of water in my fridge, you know, all the time. You know, I usually try to, you know, I usually drink about a pitcher a day. You know, I don't always drink the whole pitcher. Sometimes I drink more than a pitcher, but about a pitcher a day. In fact, you know, I think I'll have me a sip right this second. That's good. Nice and cold, just the way I like it. You know, I still drink regular soft drinks from time to time. You know, but when I do drink them, I rarely have more than one a day. I try to keep, you know, some of that sugar substitute on hand to mix with, you know, tea, because I like iced tea. I also use those sugar-free powder drink mixes like Crystal Light. You know, there's lots of different flavors that they have out there, you know, for when I'm in the mood for something besides water. Excuse me. You know, this helps me stay on my diet and satisfies me. You cannot expect to be able to stay on your diet, you know, and keep on track if you deny the things that you enjoy. I enjoy regular soft drinks. And I know that, you know, if I deny myself that regular soft drink from time to time, that I'm going to fall off my diet, you know. So I'm not going to try to kid myself, you know. Learning what your diet is and how, you know, what you like and how you can survive on your diet that's what's important. You know, it's a lifestyle change. It's not just a diet for something until I lose this much weight and then it's not. Have you heard me say it enough? You know, it's a lifestyle change. You know, it's sinking in yet. Lifestyle change, not a diet. You know, that's how I have to look at it. You know, tea and coffee, like I said, if you're a tea and coffee drinker, that's okay. You know, you still need to drink some water, you know, to wash out the caffeine, if nothing else. You know, I enjoy drinking tea and coffee. I, you know, drink my coffee black, and I like to have sugar substitute in my tea. But, you know, I think a cup of coffee helps me start off my day. You know, I know it's probably the caffeine, but I'm not going to sit here and blurt about all the ill effects of caffeine on your health today. You know, I have to have a little bit to energize me. You know, I know it's not the best thing in the world, but, you know, as long as I'm not drinking two pots a day like I used to when, you know, a while back, you know, I don't see it as that being that big of a deal to have a little bit of, coffee or tea every day. Also, you know, I enjoy, you know, drinking it with my meals. You know, I like to have iced tea with my meals or the powder drink mix, you know, the flavored water with my meals. I say powder drink mix because that's how I flavor my water. You know, I don't think these are as bad for you as long as you're still drinking some water. You know, I like to drink my water straight from the tap, you know, because I cannot see myself wasting my money on somebody else sticking a plastic bottle into a nozzle and filling it up with their tap water, okay? Which is basically how a lot of the water that you find bottled is nothing more than tap water in a bottle, okay? You know, not to mention all the poisons the news media have been talking about bottled water from all the plastic bottles that they use. The plastics, leak into the water, so you're drinking the plastic poisons inside the water. It's not for me. I even, read, in some cases the water that's in the bottled water is not as clean as the water that comes straight out of your tap. So if you're going to spend your money on bottled water, I would make sure that it's pure spring water, not just plain water. If it just says water, then chances are somebody else is putting their tap water into a bottle and selling it as bottled water. Otherwise, buy yourself a water filter if you're concerned about the taste or have health concerns about straight tap water. So, basically, if you hate drinking water like I did, try easing yourself into it. I know I drank water. The more I drank water, the more I liked it. I drank I started off just a little bit at a time. Try using ice in your water. I don't really like it if it's not cold. If it's sitting in my glass for too long, then, usually I'll add some ice to it. Try bottled water or filter water. Try flavored water, the drink powders. There's got to be a flavor out there that you like. I mean, there's tons and tons of flavors of flavored water and the powdered drink mixes. I've first I started, there was just a few different ones, but I at Wally World, Walmart, they've got tons of different flavors of powdered drink mixes that you can use to flavor your water. The main thing is that your body needs water for good health. That's it. It has to have water. It helps you stay on your diet. It helps fill you up. It's excellent for flushing out the poisons that are in your system. You just need water. I mean, that's basically the way it is, whether you like it or not. Your body needs it. So, try easing yourself into it. I'm sure you'll do fine. Good luck on all of you, on you keeping and maintaining your weight loss goals. Keep me up to date on your progress in the comments. I appreciate you watching Oldmanblurts YouTube. Please subscribe today up there. Y'all have a great day. Thank you again for watching. Bye-bye.